Hello, I'm the Non-Critic, and welcome to my Season 1 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic review. Alright, before I get started, let me just remind you that this is all a matter of opinions, alright? There might be some episodes in Season 1 that every brony likes, but I don't, and there might be some that I like, but every brony doesn't. So, and that's fine too, you know, it's your opinions, I'll respect your opinions. So I just want to get that out of the way. So without further ado, let's get started. Friendship is Magic Part 1. It was a pretty good episode. I like how they introduced the main characters, and we get introduced to Nightmare Moon, one of the greatest villains. The only thing I didn't like in it was Pinkie Pie. This was the first time that I wasn't really into her at first. So this episode gets a 7 out of 10 for me. Friendship is Magic Part 2. It was average. I like the elements of harmony, and the song wasn't that bad either. The only thing I didn't like was some of the challenges. They were a little bit off to me, but I agree. This episode, it was okay. 5 out of 10. Ticketmaster. So we come to our first moral episode, and it was pretty good actually. I like the chase scene, and I like Twilight in this, because that's something I would want to do. I would do too if I, have something that I want to give, but everyone wants to go, so, yeah, I thought it was, I can sympathize with Twilight. The only thing I didn't like, though, was the song. The song is not really for me. So, 7.5 out of 10. Apple Book Season. This episode started pretty good at the half, but after when Applejack was getting cranky, it started to become annoying to me. I also did not like the bakery scene. Come on, Applejack. Did you really think this would make good muffins? Oh well. But this episode was kind of okay. I just wish it would have been a little bit better. 6 out of 10. Griffin the Brush Off. I can see why every brony hates this episode. It's bland. We've seen plots like this in other TV shows. But I really did like Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash in it. They weren't too annoying, and the pranks were pretty fun to look at. The only thing I didn't like was Gilda. No, don't get me wrong, she's an okay. I like her design. But I will agree with everyone, she is annoying. And the party scene was really painful as well. But overall, I have mixed feelings about this episode, so 5.5 out of 10. Ghostbusters. This one was an okay episode. I really liked Twilight and Spike in this. It was so funny. I liked Twilight's magic and the Ursa Minor. Snips and Snails were okay characters. The only thing I did not like was Trixie. Why? Because she's annoying. 6 out of 10. Dragon Shy. I know every brony likes this episode, but personally, I don't like it that much. I did like, it was kind of cool to have an adventure, and the dragon was nice, but there's just so many things I didn't like. Like, I know Fluttershy is supposed to be scared, but she was so scared, I really couldn't stand it. I didn't like Rainbow Dash, or practically any pony in this. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I still like Fluttershy, but every favorite character has to have at least one episode where they didn't shine. And apparently, this is the one. 4 out of 10. Look before you sleep. Come on, bronies, why didn't you like this episode? I thought it was great. I mean, sure, yeah, Twilight was being an idiot in this, but she was so being an idiot, it was so silly. I liked the slumber party scene and the feud between Applejack and Rarity. It's so stupid, but it's funny. And I know Rarity was a little annoying in this. That is one bad thing I could think of. But overall, this episode was a riot. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. 8 out of 10. Bridal Gossip. In this episode, I'll be honest with you, when I first saw this episode, I didn't like it because the ponies were being really stupid in this, and it was just really not that much of my thing. But now watching it again, I did, respect this episode a little bit. I do applaud them for introducing Sakura, and Apple Bloom and Twilight were being the smart ones, while the other ones were being stupid. I mean, seriously, did you really think Sakura would do all this? And I didn't like the song at all, but I did like how Fluttershy rehearsed in a nice jazz type. Overall, this episode was okay. 6 out of 10. Swarm of the Century. Okay, I know this is supposed to be like a Star Trek episode, but with the pair sprites, all I'm thinking is the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends episode with the scribbles. That's one of the reasons why I like it. And I like that the ponies are trying to see what they can do to get rid of. And I thought those were pretty smart ideas. Trying to round them up, putting them in a tornado, it's just that Pinkie Pie was ruining it. Yeah, I agree with Suki and Video Master. Pinkie Pie should explain what she was doing, and the ponies would probably be like, oh, okay, we'll help you. Instead of just like, will you help me? With what? Just help me. No. But overall, this episode was good. 6 out of 10. Winter wrap-up. Now, this episode was pretty good, but there are some faults I have for this. For one thing, why is all the main ponies, besides Rainbow Dash and Applejack, doing the work by themselves? I mean, what are the rest of the ponies doing? That always bothered me. And why wasn't the mayor helping till the last end? And I didn't like Spike in this at all. He was like, oh, I didn't do it, don't can prove anything. But I did like the song, and I did like Twilight finding the job. Again, that's the same thing I would do if I wanted to help out. I see which one I'll be good at. So this episode was pretty good, but I can't help because there was some faults. 7.5 out of 10. Call It the Cutie. Yeah, this episode was average. I did like the Cupcake song, and I already mentioned that Twist is one of my favorite ponies. The exercise scenes was kind of cool, but I didn't like Apple Bloom in this. This was the first time that I wasn't really into her. She was starting to become annoying, so yeah, what are you gonna do? 5 out of 10. Fall with the Friends. I really like this episode, because like with Applejack and Rarity, there's a rivalry between Applejack and Rainbow Dash, and the Iron Pony scenes and Running of the Leaves was pretty good. I like Spike being the announcer and how he's like, okay, what the fuck just happened? It was a riot. Of course, I did not like Pinkie Pie in this, so, but you know, what you gonna do? This episode was pretty cool. 8.5 out of 10. Student for Success. I know everyone likes this episode, and so do I. This episode was really good. I like the songs, I like how they gave Rarity a perfect character development, and I like the first dress. Second dresses suck. I didn't like the fashion show scene. I was thinking to myself, what was the point of it? I mean, I know it's supposed to go to the plot, but I just thought it would have been nice if they didn't do it. But yeah, it's their show, not mine, so I can't help with that. 9 out of 10. Feeling Peachy Keen. Oh my god, this is my favorite episode. I like Pinkie Pie and Twilight in this. It was really fun. I liked a lot of slapstick, reminding me of Looney Tunes. It was so great. And I cannot think of one bad thing. This episode was really good. 9.5 out of 10. Sonic Rain Boom. I really liked this episode as well. The Sonic Rain Boom was pretty nice, and Cloudsdale was fun to look at. I like how Rainbow Dash was not being a jerk in this. However, I did not like Rarity and the bullies. They were so annoying. I wish they were being taken out. But overall, this episode was good. 7.5 out of 10. Stairmaster. It was average. I like Fluttershy how she was now handling responsibilities and being the smart one. And the Cockatoo was fun to look at, but I didn't like the Cutie Mark Crusaders in this. Like Apple Bloom, they were being annoying. 5.5 out of 10. Showstoppers. Do I even need to explain what's wrong with this episode? I think you all know what my opinions on it are this. 2 out of 10. Man, I suck at saying stuff today. A Dog and Pony Show. It was average. I did like Rarity and how she was whining. It was funny, and the Diamond Dogs were cool. However, I didn't like some of the montages that the ponies and Spike were thinking of. Those were a little off. But overall, this episode was average. 6 out of 10. Green isn't your color. Oh, this is my favorite episode. I like everything about this episode. I love photo finish. I love Rarity and Fluttershyness. I even love the moral and Pinkie Pie's foreverness. It's just everything I like. This is my favorite episode of Season 1. 10 out of 10. Over a Barrel. It was bad, but it wasn't the least terrible. I did like Strongheart and Brainbird in this. However, I didn't like how they were shoving down the moral in our throat. That should go with the CGI version of Thomas. And I didn't like Pinkie Pie's song. So that's the point where they were shoving down the moral. So yeah, I didn't particularly like it. 3 out of 10. A bird and a hoof. It was average. I did like how they, references to the chase. And Fluttershy and Twilight were pretty good in this. And the Phoenix was fun. However, I did not like Philomena. She's ugly. 5 out of 10. Cutie Mark Chronicles. Yeah, this was pretty good. I really liked this episode. I like how, they gave each backstory of how ponies got their cutie mark. It was fun to hear. And, if you want to know what my favorite one is, I'll have to say Twilight. My least favorite? I can't really decide, so I'll just say neither. However, I did not like Scootaloo in this. When she goes, these Namby-Pambies aren't getting anywhere. We need destruction we need botched destruction, damn it! Overall, this episode was good. 7.5 out of 10. All's well that ends well. Yeah, this is another episode I didn't like as much. I did like the dragon, and the finding the quill scene was good. But Spike was really being an idiot in this. It was just so painful to watch. 3.5 out of 10. Party of One. This episode of Pinkie Pie was pretty good, I will say. The party scene with Gummy was pretty funny, and Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, the one where they're chasing, was good. Even the party invitation when they said this afternoon was a riot. However, I did not like Pinkie Pie's breakdown in this. It was a little bit too... Again, I think you all know where I'm going with this, so I don't want to repeat myself every time. So, yeah, I will agree, straight hair Pinkie Pie is good, but I still prefer curly Pinkie Pie. But overall, this episode was fun. 7 out of 10. The best night ever. I know a lot of bronies like this, but I cannot stand this episode. The only thing I liked was the song, everything else. Oh my god. It was just so stupid. The ponies were stupid. Again, it's bland. We've seen plots like this already. Come on. My god. 1 out of 10. I know a lot of bronies like this, but oh my god, I wish I could put spikes in my eyes. So overall, season 1, it was an average season, but it wasn't that great. There were a few good episodes, but the episodes in this season were either okay, bland, or not that great. So I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. Before I go, here are my top 5 favorite episodes for season 1. Look Before You Sleep, Ball with the Friends, Suited for Success, Feeling Peachy Keen, and Green Is in Your Color. And here's my least favorite episodes of season 1. All's Well That Ends Well, Dragon Shy, Over a Barrel, Showstoppers, and The Best Night Ever. So until then, the only thing I need to say is, season 2, here we come.